everyone, welcome back. So we've talked about our bow stance, we've talked about some of the 10 essentials. Let's get into some of the hand positions and arm shapes. So first and foremost, let's just talk about our traditional palm shape. Now this palm is going to be the same no matter if it's seated, no matter if it's down for our opening, if it's overhead, if our arm's in a ward off, it's all going to have the same hand shape. So that means we're going to have little gaps between our fingers. Take a moment, hold up your palm. What does it look like? Are you too crumbly? Are you too tense? Can you find the in-between so that you have this kind of ball shape between your hands so that they're slightly rounded but they're still energized, and then these little gaps. If it's possible, we want to think about opening up through the tiger's mouth. Now everyone's hands are going to look a little bit different, but the goal is to feel energy coming through the whole palm. And no matter the position of that hand, we still have the same shape to the best of our ability, okay? Next, we have a hook hand. Remember with the hook hand, it's about dropping the hand down and then all the fingers come together. Bring them all together. Make sure to lengthen through these fingers. And the energy point is going to be here. But we don't have to go so far. Just a little bit goes a long way. Next and last, we have our fist. With our fist, we want to bring all of our fingers together, tuck them in nice and tight, and then bring the thumb over the first two. Remember, don't crunch that fist in. We do want to have the fist eye closed, but we want to make sure we have a flat surface here. So a nice, flat punching surface, okay? Very important. We want to make sure that we carry this energy from our feet through our flexible waist all the way out to the hands and fingers. So we only have 3 hand shapes, but we see different variations with the palm in all directions, okay? So now I want to get into some of the similarities that we see in our arm movements, because there's 103 movements in the traditional long form, and there's so many variations in movements that it can almost feel overwhelming in the beginning of trying to learn all of them. So I want to really help you out here and show you the similarities that I've found over my 20 years of practice. So first and foremost, let's talk about your hand sitting on a table. So what does that mean? When you're in opening, your hand should be pushing down like it's quite literally sitting on a table. This is what we want. Now, it's going to be all the way down towards the hips, but because I'm sitting with this broken foot, we're going to bring it up here. So make sure when it's sitting on the table, it's truly pushing down and it's not limp. Okay, where else do we see this? This is a really common hand position in our long form. We see this in brush, knee, and push. We see it in white crane, spreads its wings. Every time it's hand sitting on the table. So when your hand is down, parting the wild horse's mane, you should have it sitting on a table. Make sure that you have this shape like you are truly pushing down and it's not limp and too relaxed. Have the intention there, okay? A lot of the times it means grabbing. We never close our hand to show grabbing, but we want to make sure the intention is there and you're pushing down on that table, okay? Another variation, ward off. We see this right away in ward off right. We have this beautiful ward off arm position. Where else do we see this? Cross hands is a double ward off. Fair lady work shuttles. We ward off and then we shuttle through, okay? We want to make sure that we understand what this ward off arm should feel like, with our palms slightly rotated up, bringing this energy point here into focus, elbow dropping down, and that same beautiful palm shape with the space between the fingers. So every time you see this ward off position, no matter which arm it's in, then we're going to have the same shape. Fist under elbow, we connect out, warding off. Then we rotate to show grabbing, and we lift and punch. Even wave hands like clouds, we ward off and connect. And then we turn to show grabbing. So we also want to get used to this. Turning to show grabbing. Remember, we don't use our wrist. It's going to be whole arm rotation. So from here, you're going to rotate the whole arm. Rotate to show grabbing because the energy point is here and you're going to show you're grabbing your opponent's arm. And we're not going to circle with the wrist. We're going to show grabbing. Even wave hands is a bigger arc, but if we go from ward off to roll back, we have that same rotation. Fist under elbow, connect, rotate to show grabbing. So already seeing lots of similarities within our arm shape. We also have a seated palm. Okay, so this means we're showing the energy point right here. Brush, knee, and push. Great example. Parry, block, and punch. Holding back your opponent. Even here, the palm is seated, and then we punch. Okay, fair lady. Striking out. A lot of variations have this seated palm. Push. Another great example. So again, different methods to arriving to the same position, different transitions, but again, having the palm in line with the shoulder, elbow relaxed, is the final position with that hand really sitting up, not limp, sitting up. Making sure that everything is going to look the same to get to that point of being standard. Now we also have warding off up. We see this in white crane spreads its wings, and we also see this in fair lady work shuttles. It's the same position, making sure our shoulders and elbows are down and we're protecting overhead. The other thing we see this in is turn body and chop with fist. We turn and we protect our top of our head. So similar movements have the same exact position for the arms, but different methods to get there. So let's review. Hand sitting on a table, warding off, striking, overhead, all the same. Within each movement is a different transition to get there, but we want to make sure that the final posture looks and feels similar. This is really going to help you so that as we learn all of these new movements in the 103 long form, or even the essential form, any of the forms, that you know you can check in when your hand's sitting by your hip, is it sitting on a table? Okay, so I hope this helps. I hope this helps connect a few dots for you within your practice, and we're going to get into some more great things as we move into the essentials. If you have any questions, always feel free to drop a comment. Make sure to click subscribe, hit that like button for me, and I hope to see you again soon.